got a question. Ran into something in one of my games recently. Do you guys like the idea of waking up in a dream? Like it was all in a dream.
Adam,
do like an entire session that was all in some dreamscape.
Would you like to go first?
Yes, I absolutely freaking love that.
You do?
I absolutely love that.
Oh, wait, hang on. Wake up and it's all a dream, or you actively know you're part of the dream? Like Final Fantasy VII style?
The way it happened to me, or rather the way I ran it, which was a mistake, was you wake up and everything you've just done is a dream. Surprise. Not, you are well aware it's a dream, so let's make, adamantine citadels out of dream stuff.
No, I'm a big fan of the "it was all a dream."
Why do you like it?
As long as it has a purpose,
right?
Like, for example, we're talking about the Astral Sea today, right?
Yeah.
That's not a surprise they clicked on the episode. So we're talking about the Astral Sea.
Congratulations, you could read.
Yeah, the idea of you astral projecting or whatever into the Astral Sea and you're in like this dreamscape and whatnot is intensely interesting to me, especially if you've never done it before and it's just weird and you're like looking around. All of a sudden, like everybody has a long rest and then they wake up and they've got these long silvery cords coming out the top of their heads. They're like, what the fuck is this about? Right? Like, I like the idea. I like the idea of it being totally normal and then gradually getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And people are sitting there going, well, this is just Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like things get weird. But no, it's getting weirder and weirder. And the barbarian now has 4 eyes and the monk can only speak backwards and like it's getting stranger and stranger. And then you wake up and then and everyone's like, oh, weird, weak. And then the events start to repeat themselves. And that's the reveal.
Yeah, no, I like that. Like it's borderline prophecy.
Yeah, if you were just like, you know what, we're doing a one shot, and it said, oh, it was all in a dream. A mind flayer was messing with. No, that's horseshit. There has to be reason behind it.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I was originally going to say no, but Adam got me thinking. I like when it's like it could be real, but you're kind of not sure. Like, or like you communicate with a god or something you thought was a god, but it was just a dude in a hood or something like that.
Well,
and you're kind of not sure, but you think it might be prophecy.
Just a dude in a hood. Jared over there is like, hey,
and his
prophecy.
No, and the thing is, you got to do with the dreamscape is you got to be very careful if you are running a dreamscape thing. Is don't give them items, don't give them anything they're going to want other than information once they wake up, because then you have to justify why that's all gone. Other than it was just a dream.
Well, see, again, I'm like, oh, and you dreamt about the prophesized sword, and you have the sword, and you slayed the big demon, whatever, right? And then you and you just say, all right, during long rest, who's sleeping, who's on watch, whatnot. Okay, and then you roll dice, and you dreamt of the sword again. And this is just something you tease your player with for 10 episodes before you give them the sword, or 10 sessions, right? Like, I don't mind putting that stuff in dreams. The players will probably they'll groan, and then it'll take them about an hour or two of gameplay to figure it out, and they'll be like, oh, we're doing this. Oh, okay, this is a plot point.
Yeah.
Right?
I would just keep saying, where is the sword? To you, where is the sword? Off that cliff? I'll jump off that cliff.
All right, I open the door, what do I see? Is it a sword? Right? Like, yes, Terry, I've played with you before. Fuck.
Welcome to It's a Mimic with your DMs, Adam, Dan, and Terry.
Welcome to another episode of the It's a Mimic podcast, the roundtable Dungeons and Dragons discussion where you never know what you're going to get. I'm Dan, and with me are Adam and Terry, and today we're talking about the Astral Sea.
Jesus, you did it in one go.
I got it.
That was take one.
Boom. Anyways, so we're talking about the Astral Sea, which is the not plane, but is a plane. It's that weird little space in between all of the planes. It is the second
like
of the
where the bathroom is. Shit, sorry, that was so fucking... Even Dan looked at me like that was the shittest joke you ever said.
It took me a second
because shit one's out the way.
You're talking about like the bathroom between like first class
like
and
the weird
coach.
Space where they're making coffee, but like 3 feet away, you're trying to take a silent shit like on a plane.
Oh no, dude, you got to own that. You just got to go for it.
Okay.
That scene from Austin Powers.
That's why
who does number 2 work for?
That's why I only shit in first class.
And then immediately turn around and walk back to coach.
Slowly as possible.
I have imposter syndrome. I don't know if I could do I wouldn't be able to go even if I snuck into the first class bathroom. Does theirs look the same? I've never been in.
No, it's actually like, that's what the
Is there
cockpit
space
is.
for a human...
Yeah, they've replaced cockpits a long time ago. It's all drones now. We just fly around in drones. They just don't want you to know that. They have the automated, this is your pilot speaking, right? And it's just a big, 40-foot long bathroom up at the front of the plane.
The bartender on Passengers.
Yeah.
That's what it's like. That's the pilots. Spoiler alert for Passengers. I'm sure you've seen it. It's Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, is that the one with Chris Pratt too?
Yep.
Yeah. Glad you remembered it for the right reasons. Yeah, it is, yeah.
Cool. Anyway, so today we're talking about the Astral Sea, not airplanes, but there are airships that are there as well. Basically, the way that this is described in 5th edition and with previous editions as well is a vast silvery sea with specks of light and darkness and swirling colors as far as the eye can see. Usually the best way to get there is through astral projection, which is a spell where you are projected into the plane and a silvery thread appears right at the base of your skull out for about a foot before it turns invisible. And then you're walking along with this foot-long silvery thread. And this thing will, if this is severed, will straight up kill you.
So it's invisible, but I could still say trip over it. It's still there.
I know what it goes up and back out of your head. Right. So I would say no, you can't really trip over it.
But I mean, I could touch it but not see it.
I would say after it goes invisible, you can't touch it unless you have the means to touch it.
Okay. I would even say that touching it would be like if I was running it. Touching the silvery cord at the back of your head would be like running your hand through cold water, right? Like you can interrupt the stream, but it goes right back to the way it was.
And you do that, and the person whose thread you run your hand through
just gets an erection.
I was going to say like a D6 of psychic damage or necrotic damage or something.
Yeah, you got a D6.
How does one sever it? Can you only sever it at the part you can see, or can you sever it where it's invisible?
You have to have an ability that says you sever it. And then at that point, it would have to be where it's visible, in my mind. Where it goes beyond that, it would be kind of a cheap play. But then again, when you got things like astral dreadnoughts and literal deities walking around through the Astral Sea on the regular, I don't see it being too far-fetched for one of your players to just become paralyzed and floating down.
I imagine that these people
holding the end of the silver thread, going, "Why the fuck are you in here?"
Yeah, they've figured out how to interact with this thing.
Yeah.
So interesting trivia moment, Dan. Do you know when it became the Astral Sea?
4th edition.
Remember what it was before that?
The astral plane.
Yeah. But do you remember what it was before that?
It was just a dreamscape thing, wasn't it?
It was a cloud. Back in the world tree model of the world, before the spell plague hit, it was, if you pictured the tree and there's the trunk or the prime material plane, and then all the little branches out there, the other planes and whatnot, and then a child would draw that cloud around for the leaves. That's the Astral Sea, and you would have to traverse through it from plane to plane, or you could go down the branches and stuff as well. And then the spell plague hit, and then smashed it all to shit, and it became the Astral Sea.
Yeah,
and apparently it's a little of both now.
Yeah, from what I've been reading, it is a massive foggy landscape that just goes on forever, horizontal and flat for the most part. There's not a lot of vertical or whatnot movement in it, unless you're in a more dreamscapey version. But it's like walking along. There's a scene in one of the Stanley Kubrick movies where he's walking along, and it's like that very thin layer of water, and that's it. Right? And that's what I see when I see the Astral Sea. So this wide open, endless expanse of gray and swirling colors and a centimeter of water on the ground as you're walking. And each step you splash as you go. And I would say I did find some rules for if you are especially intelligent and you understand where you are, you might be able to then fly based off an intelligence check.
That's old holdover stuff from 2nd edition.
I read that there's areas of matter, chunks of earth that have been sucked in from the material plane, just floating around.
So before it became kind of a highway between the planes, the Astral Sea was kind of... Good job, Terry.
That was an accidental dice roll. I apologize.
The Astral Sea
15, you win.
The Astral Sea was a dumping ground of sorts for dead gods So dead gods would just be thrown into the Astral Sea. Their bodies would be thrown into the Astral Sea and would slowly calcify and grow rock on them. And these things would be floating around. So you have these random floating islands that are pieces of or full bodies of dead gods that have become calcified and
I'm picturing Nowhere from Guardians of the Galaxy, where they're in the massive skull.
Exactly.
Right, there's that big city in there.
Right.
There is a city within the Astral Sea that we'll talk about later. It's the Githyanki city of Tul-Narath, which is, I'm just going to make sure I said that correctly.
Chances are you didn't.
Chances are I didn't. It's Dungeons and Dragons, folks.
Yeah, it's made up words made by silly people. Let's move on.
Yeah. But it's a massive Tul-Narath is a massive Githyanki stronghold that has been built on the body of a long dead god. And because of who they are as Githyanki, they've built this massive keep around the skull of this thing, and this is where the leader of the Githyanki, the revered queen Vlakith, sits, right? And that's where they waged their war on Illithid and the Githzerai, is from that one city. But that's like the only main city in the Astral Sea itself. Everywhere else, you got to go like to the outer planes to get to the Astral Sea. And
do you know if you can travel straight into the city? Is there gates?
Inside
of the city?
Yes, there are gates to the city. It is also heavily protected and gigantic and floating.
But I mean, could I emerge within the city walls? If I went from the material plane out to some other plane and then took a gate or whatever, is there gates for me to enter the Astral Sea inside the city already?
Yes, 100% there will be. Yeah. However, those gates will be guarded by Githyanki, who are not too fond of visitors.
Yeah, they're not going to let you.
Yeah,
is the point.
You'll come in. They can't stop you from coming in. But you're never going back.
Yeah. I would say they're going to stop you because these are obviously the gateways they use to the prime material plane and to other planes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fortified on the other side.
Yeah, that too. Right. Yeah, for sure. But it's an infinite landscape, right? And it's...
I have a complaint.
Okay.
We have two nearly identical planes in 5th edition of infinite foggy landscapes. I mean, come on. We couldn't have done something different with the Astral Sea beyond... It's just the ethereal plane, right? It's the exact same thing.
Well, the ethereal plane is
It is a eternal, infinite, foggy landscape.
But is it not also a shadow of the material plane?
No, that's the Shadowfell, right? Like there are bits and pieces of the material plane that have like duplicated and popped up. Think of the Upside Down in Stranger Things, right? It's also think of bits and pieces of when Frodo goes into the
puts on the ring.
He puts on the ring. Well, he's in the what is it, Shadow Wraith world or whatever it is. He ends up getting rotoscoped and he's running around.
Gets what, sir?
Rotoscoped. I'll explain to you later. You're 18. I can tell you all about it afterwards. So
I'm 31, but yeah, sure.
But the idea is that it would be like that, but there's a lot less in it. It's nondescript and fog as far as the eye can see. I'm done with fog as far as the eye can see.
I didn't imagine it like that. I imagined the ethereal plane like what you're saying, the Upside Down. But I imagine the Astral Sea as being closer to, but not exactly like the whole, spoiler alert for Harry Potter, where he goes sees Dumbledore, and there's a little Voldemort.
Yeah.
Kind of like more like
that. So the way I view it is the Astral Sea is the graveyard of the gods. The ethereal plane is the graveyard of mortals.
Well, you know why they made the Astral Sea? Why the gods made the Astral Sea, right?
Why?
This is from old edition. It was so that the different people from different planes weren't just like crashing into each other. So the planes didn't border upon each other any longer. There was a barrier in between. And I mean, I don't want to go into Astral Dreadnoughts. We got an upcoming episode.
That's why the World Tree model is it's clouds around everything.
Yeah, and even before that, it was essentially like formless cloud between. Yeah. But the idea is that the gods created this astral plane, which is now the Astral Sea, to give a barrier between realms, and they created astral dreadnoughts to stop even gods from passing from one realm to another easily. So, you're right, and that's why the Githyanki are the most brutal warrior race. They're the freaking Klingons of D&D, right? Because only they can really live here.
The psychic wizard Klingons of D&D, yes.
Yeah, but there's very few races or monsters that sit in the Astral Sea.
Very few. You have, other than your celestial or your fiendish, high-powered creature trying to avoid an astral dreadnought and move between planes, you have the Githyanki, you have astral dreadnoughts themselves, and various other astral abominations that are kind of low-level twists of flesh. Like, I'm thinking kind of like Stephen Strange, like Doctor Strange level weird stuff going on, like weird graphics going on. But other than that, you have like Kodals. And
yeah, but it's all planar beings at this point, but not elementals, just planar beings from the outer realms, right, and from the far realms. So the outer planes and the far realms, and so it feels really empty,
right,
and with the fog and the emptiness, like I'm having trouble coming up with the exception of the Gith and astral dreadnoughts. What are you putting in there? How is this an interesting thing to explore?
In my mind, why does it seem flat? Like there's no hills? Or
right. And so, you're just walking, and like Dan said, it's just this really thin layer of water that you're just splashing along.
I have a question.
Yeah.
If the Astral Sea is infinite, yet there is a city, where is that city, and how do you navigate to it?
It is at a fixed location in an infinite planescape, and you have to...
Stop thinking about it.
You cannot navigate to something if something is infinite.
No, you're thinking too hard about it.
Navigation is based on finite limits, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so what you would need to know is multiple points within that are near each other,
yeah,
and you'd be able to travel in and amongst them, while it just keeps spreading to infinite...
So it's by that star cluster next to that weirdly shaped nebula.
I navigate by pubs and breweries, so that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, which brewery is it near? I know where you live.
And then eventually you just end up in a world of fog that seems infinite.
There's only one other race of people who call the astral plane their home, and this is a holdover from other editions as well, but it is the Quam. And the Quam are a race of healing people who worshipped a god that was accidentally killed by Bahamut when Bahamut was killing a primordial.
Did he fly and then land on them? Because that's a good tactic.
It is a great tactic for dragons. I hear that one gets brought up a lot.
Twice.
3 times.
No, I avoided
3
it.
times. No, it's 3 times. My
White, green, black.
No, the third
White,
time.
green, black.
No, it was not black. The third time, you two brought it up.
No, because Megan was there. It was me, you, and Megan. Megan commented that you did a good job mentioning it.
No, I deliberately
white,
did
green,
not.
black.
I'll fucking prove it to you, Dad.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I got, know what? Next case of beer for the next recording.
My battle tactics with dragons are phenomenal.
Your battle tactics for dragons are the same with every single dragon.
Why did
oh my god, this is actually annoying me. No, it is not. One, fuck off for a second. One was separate party members. Take the dragon and separate party members. One was pull them underground, and one was take them to the sky.
We've done 4, Terry.
The other one was land on them. No, the other one was counterattacks. Blue dragons.
Look. There's only so many things you can do with dragons. Don't be upset because you're using one effective tactic over and over again. I know you're doing other things as well, but Dan just keeps making gnomes. All right, so you're still a step up on that shit.
Hey, and half-orcs.
Anyways, back to the Astral Sea.
Anyways, so the Quam are a race of healing-based, clerical people, life-based clerical people who worshipped this deity named Lakal, who was killed by Bahamut when Bahamut was killing a primordial and attacking primordial. And they changed their way of thinking. So what they do is they travel the Astral Sea looking for motes of Lakal. And these motes can be small enough to ingest. And no matter what, they don't care if you're living, if you got a big chunk, they don't care what level of power you have. Their sole focus is to collect these motes of Lakal. And they think that once they collect every last Adam of the destroyed god Lakal, he will be resurrected and they will have their society once
So
again.
they're going to attack anybody with
Anybody, for any reason.
They have no qualms about it.
They have no qualms about it. Thank you.
I'm trying to get it in, but I couldn't.
But this isn't 5th ed, right? Like, this is previous editions?
This is briefly mentioned in previous editions, but it is held over in like some stuff in 4th edition that they were even mentioned. So it's previous editions, but it's close, right? I would still put them in there because, like you said, it's a vast landscape of nothingness. It needs some populace.
Well, okay. Well, the other thing that's in here, though, is the colored pools. Can you talk about the...
So the other thing, because the Astral Sea is that it's that transitory plane between planes, the way you jump between planes is by finding these different colored pools, and these different colors lead to different locations based on the color. And there's a chart you can look up. There's
an old chart, and so every different plane has a different color pool, and you know when you see it, like when you see a pool, which plane it goes to, but you don't know necessarily which level of the 9 hells this one leads to.
Yeah,
because there'll be many
where on Avernus that one level is going to lead to, right?
But the plane that you come from, if you are astral projecting, no matter what plane you're in, the plane you come from always looks like silvery, like liquid mercury. Right?
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah, and if you go into these pools, if you jump into these pools, even if you're astral projecting, you appear at that level, and your possessions, your physical self, because when you're astral projecting, your physical self stays and your mind is projected in. If you go into these pools, even your physical stuff will go with you to that location.
But you can't. You said earlier about your intelligence modifier. If it's high enough, it lets you fly and stuff.
Which is a holdover from previous editions.
I've seen mechanics where you can only really move and attack based on your intelligence modifier, or your physical stats and your mental stats flip. And so, like, you're in order to do dex attacks,
or physically being there?
Both, right? Because all the rules are different. In 2nd edition, they had huge charts about all the different rules, depending on which plane you're in, how all the different rules are. Like, for example, if you are a good aligned character, you can only cast 1st level spells in the 9 hell, even if you're level 18, because fuck you, you're in the 9 hells, right? And that's how it used to be. And so a lot of this stuff is holdover, right? Mm-hmm. So, it's weird to me that people are just kind of wandering around in the fog looking for colored pools in this really thin, like watery landscape, and there's no one around. Like, I don't think you're getting an echo even when you're yelling out, and then all of a sudden the Gith are there, and you're fucked, right? But it's a very strange place. I have trouble coming up with encounters beyond a one shot or a quick little travel in between, right? Like, how do you build entire campaigns in here? We'll talk about this later.
We'll definitely talk about that later. I've got a couple ideas because you do have to you have to play with the Gith if you're going to do a campaign based off the Astral Sea. They're one and the same at this point. And specifically the Gith Yankee. The Gith Zerai are not based in the Astral Sea. They're based in Limbo. They buggered off with the Gith Yankee and them hit their civil war.
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk a little bit more about the Gith later because they're one of my favorite races.
Jith, Dan.
No, it's not. And they're one of my favorite races in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I've always loved the Gith. So, I've said that in previous podcasts.
Make more Gith characters on this podcast, then.
I don't. They're not a playable race.
They are a playable race. There are rules
to
become a playable race of Gith within Mordenkainen's Foes. There are rules to become. However, I am super reticent to bring psionics in any Dungeons and Dragons game.
Oh, that just blows everything wide open.
Right? Even playing a great old one Warlock where you get telepathy within 30 feet is a bit too much to handle, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So Gith Zerai and Gith Yankee both get innate psionic abilities with them. So you gotta be careful if you're running them in your games, but they're perfectly legal to play. But anyway, so I've got a question for you guys. We've talked about it as the infinite landscape of nothingness. It's a bit of a blank canvas to do. So what is the one thing in the infinite landscape, in all your research you guys have done, was the one thing about the Astral Sea or Astral Plane that really caught your interest and why? So let's grab our dice. Let's give it a roll.
Oh, I'm going first. 14.
I got a 13.
I got an 11.
Yes.
So T-Dog, what you got?
Okay.
Or was it Trizza? It was Trizza.
Right. What, like a Wu-Tang clan?
Yeah, that's what. I'm calling back our. I'm calling back our rap names from episode 4.
Okay. I was reading about enhanced magic in the Astral Sea.
Okay.
And the amount of time that it takes to cast a spell is reduced. And so I thought as a DM I would probably rule that say like a 1 hour casting time would be down to 10 minutes, 10 minutes down to 1 minute, an action down to a bonus action. And I thought that is really going to step up in Countless if you do find yourself in combat within the Astral Sea, and now all of a sudden everything is becoming bonus actions to do.
Oh, I love that.
It's just going to be like mega spells.
That would be
Fast
included
paced, boom, boom, boom.
to all of the things you're fighting as well. And when you remember that Githyanki are a arcane focused race, if you're casting spells in combat in the Astral Sea, it's not going to go well for you. So I love that. Yeah, for sure. Adam, what you got?
Okay, my favorite thing doing the research was the time dilation factor.
Yeah.
I talked about this in the Feywild episode too. I really like the idea of the idea that 1,000 years in the Astral Sea feels like a single day in the real world. So if you astral project, you can in theory live lifetimes, eons in there, and gain supreme knowledges in the span of a week in real time. And I think that a lot of like high-powered, like heavy hitter wizards probably have, right? They probably have spent eons and beyond millennia in the Astral Sea.
But there's a hard asterisk to this.
Right. So the idea is you don't need to eat, sleep, or drink, but you also don't really age either. And that's a real problem for the Gith. And that's why the Githyanki, they don't reproduce on the astral plane because they can't grow old. They actually have to go out to other planes and make little strongholds there. And then that's where they raise their children up to maturity. And then they've got to, in order to be accepted back into the Astral Sea, you got to kill the Mind Flayer. And then you're good enough to go back.
This is like 300 Spartan level shit. Like,
100%. Yeah. And like the Gith give birth to eggs. And the second that Gith are reproduced by eggs, the second there are eggs in a campaign, okay, now you're carrying around a Gith egg. And this is a campaign
and you
idea.
think it's a dragon egg.
Yeah. Oh, because there's also more stuff with dragons and Gith as well.
Yeah, so I love the idea of the fact that you could stumble upon the quote unquote future barracks, right? And then they've got these entire generations of armies that are just in egg form, sitting in a warehouse in the Astral Sea.
Oh, that would answer the question. Before Adam got here, we were discussing the dragons, what they get, the Kresh.
That would make sense.
That makes sense. Okay.
So we were reading on it, and they say that dragons and Gith have a very unique relationship based off the lore. Gith, capital G Gith, the person
original
Gith. Yeah, the race of the Gith are named after this hero who is the one who is seen as liberating the Gith from their slavery of eons to the Illithid. So they named themselves Gith after capital G Gith. Gith went down to the Nine Hells to make a deal with Tiamat for some help in their war against the Illithids. Gith never came back from this journey, but a ancient red dragon named Ephelomon came up and said, "We're here for you. We're going to help you in any way, shape, or form. And the hell, you could even ride us. But
hot.
But there's going to be some workarounds here. So, one of the ways that this little alliance that the Githyanki and Red Dragons have in place, one of the little things about it is Red Dragons will guard these material plane outposts for the Gith to raise their young. So you have these massive obsidian structures littered in the landscape in the
planescape even.
Well, in the planescape, but they prefer the material plane for this. They raise their young, and the dragons will sit there and protect them. Some dragons will even use this time to age before they go back to the Astral Sea and live their nice long life in the Astral Sea. Right? But the Gith, like diving into these color pools that we mentioned before, these astral pools, to raid for slaves, but also for treasure and for suitable locations to set up more of these. What was the word?
Creche, like
creche,
French
yeah.
Creche, which is like, but like young people, like looking after young people, like a daycare is how we use it now. But we were reading about it, and I was like, why? But that to me,
why would they use creche?
Because Dan was like, what does that word mean? I was like, it's like a daycare. I don't understand. But then when I raised it, because you started talking about the place where they hold their eggs, and I was like,
that that makes a lot of sense to me. And then they raise armies at a time. Like a legion is raised here over 18 years. But of course, in the Astral Sea, that's 18,000 years as far as they've been able to tell, right? So all of a sudden, every like thousands of years, a new generation's worth of warriors shows up. And I can also imagine like 10,000 of these guys being raised and protected by a red dragon, just raiding the Underdark and wiping out like entire illicit civilizations, right? And then the ones that got a confirmed kill get to move on to the Astral Sea to essentially live immortally for like the rest of their days, except for raiding other...
Yes and no, because this is specifically a Githyanki, and there is a higher paradise. So they view the Astral Sea as paradise. And they raid other places to bring more treasures to paradise, which is the Astral Sea.
Yeah.
But if you are an exceptional wizard in the Githyanki society, or you're an exceptional warrior in the Githyanki society, Vlaakith, who's the queen, the god queen, she's a arch-lich Githyanki wizard, she will bring you to Gith's higher paradise, which you are then separated from your family and brought into this back room where she sucks all of your life and knowledge and prowess out of you and absorbs it into herself, and you die, and now you get to live on as an aspect of Vlaakith's power.
That's really, really, really similar to what the Drow High Priestesses do.
Very similar, yeah.
But where is it done? Because you said back room, but it's not the janitor closet that couples as a staff break room. Like,
no. It's like a Fantasyland hotel.
Yeah.
Right? Like just satin on a rotating bed, right? Like it's
but this is a place like no Gith go to until they hit this level of expertise, and then each person is revered. You know, they've gone to the better paradise, and this is a goal for all Gith to go, because they don't know that Vlaakith does this to them.
I absolutely love the idea of there not even being that. She's just like, it's just a pit. It's just a pit to the abyss.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just through this room and shove. Right? And like, and that's one more that he's become a part of me. Right? Like, but there's
the idea that nobody knows that she does this apart from the guard that works a shift outside, which clearly hears the screams. Ah! That just has to... I don't hear a thing. Are you really good, God? I am so average, you wouldn't even want me. I'm good working this shift.
He's like the only deaf guard in the entire area.
But the thing is, when she does this, she's absorbing all their knowledge and everything. So she is said to have the power of an entire court of archmages just within herself, just in terms of arcane power. And that her... skill with the sword, with the blade, with one of the silver swords that the Githyanki are known for, is equivalent to 100 swords masters. Like, this badass lady who sits on a throne made of mind flayer parts, the cushion being a cured elder brain, who holds behind her with this level of power, is just slowly siphoning it off her own people for eons. And she's just growing in power and power and power and power. So, Adam, you briefly mentioned there's no, time doesn't progress in the Astral Sea. If you spend 1,000 years in the Astral Sea and then go back to your body, what happens?
Nothing. You live today.
No, not at all.
What happens?
Your body ages in high speed and you die.
Really?
Yeah. So if you are gone for 1,000 years, you're a normal human wizard, you're gone for 1,000 years, in the Astral Sea, you become this massive,
is this physically being there or projecting or both?
No, this is projecting.
This is projecting.
Okay.
Yeah, you spend 1,000 years in there. You come back to your body, and your age catches up with you physically. You'll come into your 26-year-old wizard self, and you will be a pile of dust within a matter of moments.
All right, but if you physically go there...
If you physically go there, there's a little bit more. And remember, the Astral Sea is a transitive
A little
plane.
bit more what? You didn't finish that sentence. There's a little bit more...
There's a little bit more to it than that, right? Like, the Astral Sea is a transitive plane. So, yes, if you go in, you can live thousands upon thousands of years in the Astral Sea. But you are going to be using the Astral Sea as a transitive plane. You're going from plane to plane with the
Yeah, but you can choose not to. I mean, obviously, because the Gith choose not to, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can just choose to hang out. But between Orange Pool and Purple Pool, that's where I'm going to live.
Yeah,
I'm building a shack.
But if I physically go in, when I physically leave, does my body super age, hyper age?
No, you just walk out. So you can go. You can just go do all of
Only
your
if you
wizardry
project in is when it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you think of it like all of these Gith who have lived for centuries and eons on to Narath. If they then go again to the material plane for a raid, they would age rapidly and die.
But say if you were married, you're a Gith couple, and one leaves to go on a raid, you're basically never going to see them again for 1,000 years if they're gone raiding for a
that is
season.
perfectly fine because I don't think the Gith marry. I read nothing about it. They live for Vlakith. They live to revere and serve their queen. Full stop. That is what the Gith Yankee do. So, anyways, we're spending a lot of time on the Gith Yankee.
Yeah, I feel like the Gith is just one side of the trifecta that is Drow, Gith, and Shatterkai, where you just have this dark race of super warriors with that all follow one female super leader.
Yeah,
and
this is definitely a game made by nerds.
Oh, right, and
just worship her.
They all look like Elvira because it was made in the 80s,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But
nobody knows how to.
There's a picture of Vlakith, and no, she is an archlich. She is like a decayed Gith sitting on a throne of mind flayer goo. Like there's nothing Elvira-esque about her at all.
Okay. All right, so I guess the Gith was your answer, Dan, because I
fucking
said the
love the
time
Gith.
dilation.
Yeah, no, I've mentioned in previous episodes, like the Gith are my favorite race in the game.
It's so weird.
Both Gith Yankee and Gith Zerai, I just have always been fascinated by them as a race. And I mean, you could play them now, and I'm just waiting for the table that'll let me play a Gith. So, yeah. Anyways, we are going to move on from here to our next topic shortly. But before we get to that, let's hit a commercial.
Are you interested in advertising or becoming a sponsor on our show? Email us at info@itsamimic.com.
Okay, welcome back to the podcast. We are going to be now moving on to kind of what lives and what happens and what kind of encounters you could see within the Astral Sea itself. So, really brief, guys, what do we got here? We got Astral Dreadnoughts, which are these monstrous things.
They're gargantuan creatures that can innately, naturally sever that silver cord coming out the back of your head.
Yeah.
And they're just a pool of hit points. They do a bunch of nasty shit.
Oh, they're absolutely terrifying and huge.
And then a whole lot of abominations, by my understanding.
A whole hell of a lot of abominations. The Astral Sea is where reality
You
went.
guys mean aberrations?
Aberrations, yeah.
What did I say? Abominations? I meant to say aberrations. And
Both.
so did you.
Why not?
Oh,
If somebody
abominable snowmen
If
as well.
somebody
but-
was going to fuck it up, it was going to be me. So that's fine.
Yeah.
the Astral Sea is where reality went to die. So things just get really, really warped and twisted here. You're going to be getting a lot of these creatures called astral devourers, which basically look like dogs with no head and just a big open mouth where their head should be.
What book is that in?
It's one of the previous holdovers. Astral devourers. There's any list of, if you could. This is your freedom, DMs, to be weird and make up your own monsters within this space as well. There's Gith. There's Quam, which are holdovers as well. There's
It's not,
airships and stuff.
It's not inconceivable to find a beholder wandering around in here as well.
Not at all. You're going to be finding, like we mentioned earlier, you could come across high-level celestials, high-level dragons, high-level fiends, beholders, and...
But we are talking high level. Don't send a level 2 party in. They're going to die.
Yeah. Unless you were just trying to give them, like, a meeting with some sort of celestial being. That meeting could take place in the Astral Sea, then get the fuck out. Right? That level stuff. So, there's also, in terms of just environmental hazards, there are these colored pools which could spawn under your party as you're walking along.
Are they chaotic? Do they spawn and close and open?
Everything about the Astral Sea is very chaotic. There are large dead bodies of gods that have formed these floating islands, and there are inhabitants possibly of those floating islands. One of these people who decided to just go to the Astral Sea one day and stay and form a society there. These kind of things do exist, and they're not very well detailed, except for the Githyanki city. So, DMs, here's some freedom for you to play there as well. So, other than that, there's not a whole hell of a lot. It's kind of Starscapey as well. And so there's these large astral galleons, these large astral sails, which collect, chaos stuff and, dream energy and astral energy to propel themselves through the Astral Sea. And these are usually, gifted by the gods who created these things. And if someone takes them over, some of them takes them, if you take them over, the god goes, okay, well, that's yours now, and it leaves.
I feel like there's so much potential to do something great with the Astral Sea. I think it's because it's infinite that you don't know where to start or also how to answer those questions of, well, if we did make something amazing and big and huge, why would that even be there? It's infinite. There's no reason that it would be this particular area.
You know what I think is really interesting is Dan's talking about how this is where the gods went to die. Right? Like, it's the god graveyard, essentially.
Yeah.
How many gods didn't make it from previous editions? Hundreds. Right? Like, so many. What if they were just walking around in the Astral Sea? Like, what if this is just where all of the gods are no longer worshipped? Mm-hmm. They are depowered because they don't have worshippers.
Yeah.
And now they're hanging out here. And the only worshiper is obviously the DM, because he remembered him and brought him back.
Yeah.
Right? But... Oh, Dan's got a look on his face like a monkey that just...
Is Palor part of stock Dungeons & Dragons Pantheon?
He used to be.
Used to be. He's 3.5, right?
Yeah.
All right, because he's name-dropped straight up in Mordenkainen's when talking about these boats and astral dreadnoughts and various other things like that.
Yeah, I mean...
Right, so this would fit, right? If Palor is getting name-dropped in the 5th edition book when talking about the Astral Sea, there's no reason why Palor can't be walking along through the...
Adam's reaching for a book.
Through the Astral Sea. There's no reason why... Bokob can't be walking through instead, or Nethys, or hell, pull from the Pathfinder deities as well, because Pathfinder's close enough to Dungeons and Dragons.
Boo!
So, we have Serenre, or Serenre, sorry.
Is it not Pelor?
Okay, so what's
Palor.
What's interesting here is that at the back of the player's handbook, you have entire lists. You have deities of the Forgotten Realms, and remember, that's where 5th edition is. But you also have tables for deities of Greyhawk, deities of Dragonlance, deities of Eberron, and then non-human deities. So I mean, like Bahamut and Garl Glittergold are still technically available.
Lip.
Yeah.
He's the god of
the Koatoa. But there are things like the Dark Six. Right, which is a deity of Eberron. There are 6 evil gods here. The Devourer, the Fury, the Keeper, the Mockery, the Shadow, and the Traveler. That sounds like some Astral Sea level shit right there.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah, 100%.
So, I mean, I have no problem grabbing even the Norse gods, right? Or the Celtic gods.
Yeah.
Like, pick something and drop them in here.
Walk along, and all of a sudden there's Zeus.
Yeah.
Probably shagging somebody again.
Is that a goose? No, it's Zeus.
Dropping a deuce.
With Bruce?
Or a Medusa.
You could have gone with just goose.
No, he was already a goose.
Who's a goose?
Zeus.
The goose?
Yeah.
No, he's a moose.
I was just going to say that
Right next to the booze?
Canada, nobody said moose. Anyway.
Back of the train, he's in the caboose.
Stop. Let's go.
It's a little loose. All right, okay, Bruce.
Love it. Okay, gentlemen, grab your dice. I want to ask you... Oh, it didn't say roll yet. Well, I want to ask you guys, what's one weird encounter you could throw in for the Astral Sea, for a party that is astral projecting in? Because let's be completely honest, 9 times out of 10, your party's astral projecting here. Mm-hmm. You're not coming in here physically. It's a lot harder to come in here physically than it is to just astral project it.
But before we get there, can I just give a breakdown of what astral projection, the spell, is?
Yeah, sure.
Because it's pretty, tied to the Astral Sea, right? Mm-hmm. Astral projection. 9th level necromancy. So... I mean, at low levels, you're looking for a necromancer to help you do this. Or probably some sort of weird woman or wise man or something, right? So,
sort of weird woman.
Yeah, from freaking...
Like a cat lady?
Close enough, Terry. You know what? I'm just going to say yes. Yeah, we're just... Yeah, fuck you. So, you and up to 8 willing creatures within range project your astral bodies into the astral plane. The spell fails, and the casting is wasted if you're already on that plane. Who's astral projecting from the astral plane? It's Inception.
Well, the amount of times I get my words mixed up, I would try and do something to the ethereal plane or something.
The material body you leave behind is unconscious and in a state of suspended animation. It doesn't need food or air and doesn't age. If I'm planning on spending a significant amount of time and I don't want to die, I'm just going to ask somebody to put me in an iron box and drop me into a lake so that Dan doesn't come by and draw fucking dicks on my head while I'm asleep.
I would never.
You come back in an iron box in a lake.
Well, they're timing it. You've got somebody with the stopwatch. Your astral body resembles your mortal form in almost every way, replicating your game stats and possessions. The principal difference is the addition of a silvery cord that extends from between your shoulder blades and trails behind you, fading to invisibility after 1 foot. This cord is your tether to the material body. As long as the tether remains intact, you can find your way home. If the cord is cut, something that can happen only when an effect specifically states that it does, your soul and body are separated, killing you instantly. I have a question. So, the Githyanki have silver swords that can cut these threads, right?
Yep.
Does it have to be a Gith silver sword, or can you go from your werewolf campaign into the Astral Sea and use a silver sword?
No, it has to be a Gith silver sword.
What is it about the Gith silver sword?
Because they're silver swords by name, not by material. It is like this liquid metal material that their swords are made out of.
It's unobtainium?
You and I have had this discussion. I've told you never to reference that.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. The Blue Tabaxi movie was real.
Oh, they really were Blue Tabaxis, eh? The Na'vi?
The what?
The Na'vi.
Avatar, Terry.
Oh. Airbenders, I think. Were they?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. Continue, Adam.
Well, no, there's only... No, sorry. You guys laughed because I made a mistake. There's only one airbender. Carry on.
All right, so there's a whole bunch of different ways, like different bits and pieces about this spell. It goes on and on and on. If you are killed, like you drop to 0 hit points, you get whooshed back into your body, assuming that you are astral projecting. Okay?
As long as you're not killed by the severing of that cord.
That's right. But you go back to your body and you end up in a coma. And you have to be woken. Someone can cast Dispel magic upon your body, and that'll bring you back. Also, see coma. Right? I just feel like the email is RE:coma.
If you cast Dispel magic on a body that is astral projecting, will they return to the body?
I don't think so. No, it's the body that has it cast upon them, right? Think about where it's cast at that time, and this is an effect of it, right?
So if you come across like a dude and his 8 buddies sitting in a circle, all of their eyes are rolled back in their head and they're sitting, all holding hands, and all of them have blank expressions on their face, and
I'm pulling out a Sharpie
and you cast Dispel magic on one of those guys, they pop out.
Well, one of them does.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you're returned to your body prematurely, your companions remain in their astral forms and must find their own way back to their bodies. usually by dropping to 0 hit points. It says that right in the spell. So, like, I really like this. This feels like a good way to get information. I feel like this is a really cool way to find someone that I would send someone. All right, you know what? You asked the question, and I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, go ahead.
I feel like this is a really good way to be like, hey, we need to find out what the bad guy's doing. He's got all of these protections, so no scrying, and he doesn't let anybody in or out. But there's one wizard powerful enough to do it, but he lives on the Astral Sea. We need to go talk to him. We're level 4. Astral project, so we don't die.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you die while there, you just die. Right? If your body is killed while you are projecting, then a couple of minutes go by, and then your spirit, your projected form, dies as well.
Do you know before you die that your body's been killed? Like, do you have a little jolt or something? You're like, oh shit!
I'd give it to you.
I got 2 minutes.
I would have you like slowly start to fade away, like Back to the Future style.
Yeah. Turn to your player and be like, your speed's now 25 feet. Your speed's now 15 feet. And as they slow down and everything's a little bit more sluggish, like,
Just
make
give
an
them,
attack.
just give them one extra level of exhaustion at random until all of a sudden they're doing nothing but standing there staring at the pool of water going, I don't feel so good.
Oh, hey, don't.
No?
You don't make that joke.
He collapses to his knees, looks up and goes, Mr. Stark?
You don't make that joke. That was awful.
That was awful.
Man.
Awfully funny.
And I don't even like Spider-Man. Go on, Dan.
I'm not engaging you when you mispronounce things like that. Anyways, so
Bob Spiderman, how are you? He's a used car salesman, Bob Spiderman.
okay, guys,
Hey, Bob Spider-Man!
you and your party are astral projecting into the Astral Sea, and an encounter happens. Let's grab our dice. Let's roll it. Tell me what that encounter is.
I got a 14. 14, 13, and you got a botch, Adam, because you suck. Oh no, my 14 has been changed to, what the hell is this
4,
number?
that's a 4.
A 4. Dan cheated,
I hate your dice.
as per usual.
I don't
Well,
actually
Dan hit
yours.
mine. Dan hit mine as well. Not
And
either
mine.
one. Yeah.
Fuck you, Dan.
I don't feel any sort of regret. So,
Let me guess, you meet a gnome.
no.
An astral gnome.
That sounds interesting.
Okay, do your thing.
Okay.
You stupid fucking gnome shit.
No, honestly, I love the idea of stumbling upon some aged wizard, or some even, like, barbarian who got stuck here accidentally, found a little spot on one of these floating rocks, and has just, over the years, generated knowledge from the people he interacts with and is trying to get out, but he's a barbarian. He's not that smart. So he's just sitting on his rock, floating through the Astral Sea, bored out of his mind. He's carved this thing into a replica of his own face. And it's just floating around the Astral Sea. And occasionally, as a party, you come upon him and he drops down. It's not a battle because he's probably tired by now. And he just sits there and wants information on how to get out. And your party's projecting in. You guys don't really know. And it's a little encounter back and forth where he might be able to lead you where you need to go, but he's going to want something from you, some sort of information to get back. Maybe it's even so far as news of what the world looks like now, because he's from, a long dead country.
I really like that, especially if you're going to do like a plains hopping campaign.
Yeah.
And so this happens really early, and you teach them, go into this pool over there. It's like, I thought that was magic and I had to avoid them. You mean I had to jump into the teal pool over there and it would take me to, but he doesn't know what any of the colors mean. And so every time that you're in a new plane, he's in that plane, and he's just like slowly getting more battle scarred from his plane hopping adventures as well. It's like, fuck it, I'm going back to the Astral Sea to heal up. And he goes back and gets a long rest. He's like, all right, orange. But
Right. The big plot twist. The big plot twist was that he was colorblind the whole time.
there we go.
Up.
You gotta go in the blue one. That one? No, that's green.
Or imagine like communicating through some sort of magic D&D radio type device. Go in the blue one. There's like a teal one,
Or
blue
even
one,
you
blue one.
finally, after like months of playing this campaign where you're astral projecting in and talking to the same guy, you keep on running into him, you finally get him out into the material plane, and he's an NPC that goes along with your party and is indebted to your party for getting him free. And now you have a high level barbarian that is just walking along and is got this kind of weird twist to him because he's been stuck in the Astral Sea for eons.
He's kept himself from going insane by telling himself stories about all his previous battles. Every once in a while, he'll just lapse into a story. He gets bored. Long time ago, I was fighting with the right. And he's not good at it either. And I hit him. And then I hit him again. The third time I hit him from behind.
Now, bear in mind, as I previously stated, I've already hit him twice. Just like the worst storyteller.
I love this guy more and more.
Oh my god, I like this guy. I like the idea of him being almost like 1996 Jumanji, like when Robin Williams.
Oh yes, 100%.
What year is it? His beard just got so big and bushy. He's just fucked. He just can't wait to just eat. I don't know, whatever Americans eat.
Cheeseburgers.
Oh,
Snickers,
something with cheese on.
Deep fried chocolate.
Guns.
They've just given up and just are eating guns straight out now. Right?
Oh god, sorry I derailed that whole thing.
No worries, it's your turn next.
An encounter for me. I like the idea of transfer of technology. I think a way of advancing through a plot, advancing a low-level party to their next sort of next kind of level is they'd have encounters with the Githyanki and see their airships, see their fancy swords, learn things from them, and then swap secrets with them to get that technology or those magical capabilities. I like doing things in the story as best I can to justify leveling, to justify an advancement, instead of just going, you wake up and now you can do this spell, but yesterday you couldn't. I like to tie it into.
You like to have a reason for leveling,
because it keeps me immersed in the world, right? Where it's real. I think last time I can't remember what we were talking about last time, but I was talking about what the hell were we talking about? Where I was saying, dragons teaching you things.
Blue dragons.
Blue dragons teaching you things. Yeah, that kind of idea.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Adam, what you got?
I want to look at the exploratory factor. My least favorite thing about the astral plane is that there's nothing about the heavens, the cosmos, or the stars.
Right.
And I feel like there fucking needs to be, because it's the astral goddamn sea.
Yeah.
Right? It should be the sea of stars. It should, I don't like the fog because I want it to be the entire ground. First, I'm getting rid of the fog. Fuck that noise.
Forget the fog out. I don't even need it. That sounded better than I wanted it to. That's not even what I meant, but after I said it, it was amazing.
All right, so.
Put down a t-shirt.
So, the idea of being able to see the entire sea, you can visually perceive it for kilometers or miles if you're American, in every direction.
Get better, America. Come on.
But it's like a glass, like it's a mirror of the infinite starscape above you.
Right.
And you only know you're going in the right direction when the constellations above you start to shift and look like you. And things like that is the kind of weird exploratory. Matt Colville does a thing where if you are looking down, all the constellations are the same as on your world, but they're backwards. So you have to navigate by looking down to see the mirror image.
I love that.
I love it.
That's the kind of cool stuff that I want from the Astral Sea. I like the idea of this 1 centimeter or 40% of an inch America. If you are on this,
do they use percentage? Because that's metric. Do they
per inch?
I don't know what imperial percentage would be. Just like
still a percentage. Just it's a weird fucking percentage
per 132 or something.
Yeah, it's 1/16.
Yeah,
but
something.
but I like the idea of this very thin layer of water. But an astral dreadnought exists in a space beneath it. And when it comes up, it swims beneath the water. And when it rises, you see the water bulge and get bigger and bigger. Like a hill is appearing and the water is going up and over this hill and it's still submerged as the hill gets bigger and bigger. And then suddenly the water breaks and all of the water comes raining down, and there's an astral dreadnought, this gargantuan creature in front of you, right?
With his lobster hands.
I like the idea of, we always give clues before something happens.
Yeah.
It's infinite. You can't see anything for miles, and then just a ripple.
Yeah.
Just comes.
Yeah, I think that's imagine a rogue wave on the Astral Sea. Right? And
how terrifying that would be.
What is behind that?
Yeah.
Right? What is coming? And I think that's a lot of fun. But as far as a combat encounter goes, the Mind Flayer raiding party out for revenge against the Gith, and they want nothing to do with you except, do you know where the Gith are? And we'll make it worth your while. Even though you're astral projecting, they will still be able to give you spells or tell you where you want to go, or maybe give you the information because they've like eaten the mind of someone else that has this, right?
Yeah.
And so they're able to give you this, and so you are having to deal with mind flayers that they can't kill you; they can only send you back, right? So they know that they don't really hold anything over you except a mild inconvenience. You know, you'll have to wait 24 hours and do it again, right? But you need something from them, they need something from you, and you're dealing with freaking mind flayers. That's at level 3.
I love it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can really hit the party with these high-level creatures. I wouldn't go angels or devils. I know you can, but I wouldn't. I would go...
There's so many other places you could run into them.
If I'm gonna go angels, I'm gonna go like biblical angels, where the entire angel is just a sphere with 6 baby heads on it and 15 wings, and it's on fire, and it comes down and talks to you, but backwards, but you still understand it, right? And it is the voice of a god, and you should just know which one, right? And that's like, it should be. Did you guys ever see Gravity Falls?
No.
Mm-hmm. Did you?
Yeah, I've seen a few. Yeah.
You should watch it in order. It's actually one of the best children cartoons that just gets wrong and weird and very heavy.
Hello.
Not like that, Terry. No. But
Still a children's cartoon.
but I just like the idea of there being like pyramids floating in the sky, right? And there are these massive pyramids that you are walking under, and as they get closer and closer and closer, they don't get any bigger. They stay the same size until they're a pyramid that you can hold in your hand. And then the creatures step out from the pyramid, all tiny, like the size of ants, and they start speaking to you in deep, booming voices. And it should just be weird shit like that all of the time.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's kind of what I'm looking for. You guys just keep doing that, and it weirds me out. I
Astral Sea is a series of Dan's face and Terry's face just agreeing.
just
with each other.
kissing. Just kissing.
That's a different dreamscape, and just yours, I'm fairly certain.
Come play with us, Adam.
Come play.
Rackham is so happy right now.
I was talking to her today. She was on form as always.
But yeah, I guess that's my answers. I want to see the weird exploratory factors where you've got to figure out what this new landscape means, right? And I think that the fog is a disservice to it.
No, I agree. It needs to have some like Interstellar, the Matthew McConaughey movie.
Yeah.
Weird visuals where like the long empty planescape, with the sky reflected, and you could see for like, I think the silvery mist does do.
I would maybe have the
service.
silvery mist there as something that represents that you've just entered the sea, but it kind of dissipates after a while.
It's like a curtain.
Yeah, it's just
It's a summoning sickness.
Yeah.
But,
why not?
Yeah. Okay, so here's something. You know, there's all these colored pools of water stuff that you see. Now imagine one's bubbling. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Now imagine that like really thin blue line, that vertical line that you see coming out, as you get closer and closer and closer, it is a upside down waterfall.
Yeah.
Just shooting up into the heavens, right? Like that kind of stuff.
You're walking along the Astral Sea, you hear clinking and whatnot next to you. You turn to see a small, pale-skinned with like almost a gnome with like the constellations within his eyes. And he walks up, drops a little table in front of you, and expands his wares
I've already
in front
killed
of you.
him. I've already killed him.
Expands his wares in front of you, which are jars of colored fluid that you could buy off of him for...
I'm with it, except he's a dwarf.
One measly little price of, I'll take 1/16 of your soul.
Yeah, you know what? I like that, but his wares are just the deck of many things. And if you pull my soul got stuck in another plane and my body is still here, you just got to go find that like, you're already halfway there.
Yeah.
You're in the Astral Sea. Go rescue that guy.
I like the idea of he knows what order the cards are in. You select one. You roll an insight check to see how he reacts to your selection.
There we go.
And then he gives you the opportunity to change your mind.
Yeah.
Based off of what you picked up.
I'm
gonna grab this one. Oh, really?
No. I rolled a nat 20 on my insight. He's aroused.
That's a knocking beneath the table. Twice, oddly enough. Dwarves have 2 penises.
Is that what you're trying to say?
Well,
One of them shaped like a corkscrew. The other one's a screwdriver.
They're not ducks.
Ducks don't have screwdriver penises.
Yes, they do.
what?
No, they don't. They have corkscrew.
Ducks have spirally penises?
Yeah.
You guys are fucking with me. Don't.
Not at all.
The problem is which ways it's threaded.
and I'm going to ask you
legit, mallard ducks have corkscrew.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question, all right? And I don't want you to laugh at it when you take me seriously as a human being.
Okay.
Trying. Do female ducks
Yes.
have
Yes.
Yes.
corkscrewed
Yes.
vaginas?
Yes. I like how we answered the question 4 words before the end of the sentence, and you kept going.
This accurately sums up DMing Terry.
Adam started this by making me, not even my character, Terry, fall in love with an imaginary half-orc woman, and it just went from there.
She was half duck.
Anyway, Dan, she just was quackers. Anyways, I just want to do a quick little shout out now before we move on with pitching some campaign ideas at each other here. And I want to call out Lionhearth Outfitters. This is an Instagram page you guys can find. They basically every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday they release new item cards with new descriptions and whatnot that you guys can use in your games. They've of course got a Patreon that you guys can buy into and support them that way. They're a great source of inspiration for fun items and whatnot in your game. So I highly recommend you guys check out at Lionhearth_Outfitters.
I'm following them right now.
Yeah, I was just scrolling through their feed of just items and their item cards. They're one of those item card Instagram pages, and some of these things are absolutely phenomenal. They have one that's a dagger that you roll your dice, and if you crit, it pops up behind. Like you throw it, it pops up behind the person, and your first attack with it gets advantage because it crosses behind the planes and stabs this person in the back.
Oh, okay.
Like items like that. I absolutely love this page, and sometimes when I'm just looking for inspiration for fun items to give characters, I'll scroll through it. So give them a follow at Lionhearth_Outfitters.
So hearth is like heart with an H on the end?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm into it. That sounds fantastic.
I'm down. The reason I was quiet is because I was following them.
Yeah, awesome.
You've been followed.
All right, guys. So we've talked about the Astral Sea. We've talked about fun little encounters you can have. But I want to ask you guys, I want 2 one-shot ideas for a one-shot you have within the Astral Sea. And I want 2 campaign-level ideas that we can toss out here. So grab your dice. Let's roll.
I'm ready to go.
Do one shot, and we'll do our round of one-shots, and then we'll do our campaign ideas.
Sure. Let's go. What did I get? 11. Adam also got 11. Dan got 14. We're going to roll off for second. I got 15. Adam got 17.
All right, so I'm going second.
I'm going last.
That means I'm going
Dan
first.
She'll come first.
Okay, so for my first one-shot idea, I have... we haven't mentioned them yet because they are a holdover, but there are these items called astral dragons. And
I'm sorry, items?
Sorry, creatures called astral dragons. And these are yellow-skinned dragons that... worship a set of gods different from Bahamut and Tiamat. They have weird mating rituals with them, and when 2 astral dragons actually mate, they become a weird 2-headed yellow dragon. So for a one-shot idea...
I'm sorry, when 2 what mate?
When 2 astral dragons mate,
okay,
they become a singular, like they have to, go to their deities and ask permission to form this union, and when the deities give their permission, they then merge into this 2-headed...
so like a... No, lift your leg. You put that over here and hold on. No, oh,
So
God, cramp!
You're like attached to your...
At the hips.
So, my idea for a one-shot here is dealing with an astral dragon who hates his partner.
I love it. Can you imagine that? Just breath weapon each other.
You wouldn't be able to. They have a radiant breath weapon. I think that might be a special thing that we've done before in our previous campaign, but I would give them a radiant breath weapon. And I would have it so that you are trying to find the thing they need, the one MacGuffin they need, to show their god to allow them to either break the union up or to come to terms with each other. And it's just a simple one turn.
Just dragon marriage counseling.
Yeah, dragon marriage counseling.
Right.
That's my first idea for a one shot.
Love it.
Adam is sitting here pondering.
No, I love the idea of an Etten riding this two-headed dragon.
Oh God.
Oh yes,
Right?
yeah.
right.
No, I'm 100%. And like they have a pet Cerberus.
Yeah, and it's his emblem on his shield is a chimera.
I don't like it because it's ugly.
God damn it, Terry.
No, but I just mean like, yeah, I just don't like. It's not aesthetically pleasing to me. It's
No.
would bother me. When you were talking about the angels with all the baby heads and stuff, I was just like, no, I don't like that. I don't like it.
Okay, who's up next?
That'd be me.
What do you got for a one shot?
For a one-shot, you guys, I want everybody, the whole party, roll up level 16 characters. You know, we're going relatively high level on this. The Githyanki are coming to you to take out the mind flayers that have infiltrated the Astral Sea. The Githyanki don't want to do it because the mind flayers are too powerful. Dan's like, but the Githyanki want to do it. No. The Githyanki are busy attacking the homestead that the mind flayers left behind because they sent their most powerful warriors. And so they've almost like passed each other on the battlefield and they're attacking each other's homelands. And so like a handful of Githyanki like younglings or super old, or they're not able, maybe they've lost limbs or unable to fight for some reason, and they come to you, this famous party of high level warriors, to come and defend the Githyanki eggs from the mind flayers.
The Githyets, I suppose.
That just sounds Russian.
Well, that would just be small Githyanki, small or childlike.
So that's me. I want high level fighting mind flayers siding against or siding with the Githyanki to protect a whole bunch of eggs. And at some point, you've got to wonder, hey, are we helping the bad guys?
Yeah. Well, neither side is great, are they? You know,
No,
when it comes to
right?
Githyanki and mind flayers,
Yeah.
neither side's awesome.
And I think you're fighting the mind flayer champion as well. Like his name would be Tentacles.
I'm a fan of Sir Squiggington.
Oh my god. Tentacles. I hate it. Hate it because it's ugly.
Terry, come on.
Campaign ideas or encounter ideas?
Encounter, one shot.
Encounter, one shot.
No,
Encounter
one shot,
ideas.
Eddie.
I talked to you before about the floating terrain pieces. That sounds fucking amazing for a 3D battle. And I don't think 3D stuff gets done enough. And it's a nice, simple idea, but I brought it up because it is not used, and I'm giving the internet permission now to use it. Floating pieces of Earth going in different directions, bouncing off each other every single round, or even as part of the
The
initiative.
Millennium Falcon flying between them.
Yeah, these pieces are moving, and it's going to be random directions at first. So the DM will roll the random directions; it'll already be predetermined, and then, but depending on how the players and the characters interact with that Earth, they may bounce it off in a different way. For example, if it's a smaller piece of Earth and you do a thunder wave, you're changing the direction of that now.
I love it.
But now they're also bouncing off of each other from different directions. Hey, if you're stood on top of it, but this one is going up and there's one above it, you get out the way because you're going to get squashed between them. Then that one will then bounce down the different direction.
That would be hell to manage in Theater of the Mind.
The way
You would have to do it in Theater of the Mind. You would have to do it, but you would have to have some sort of 3D freaking map to be able to be like, okay, so here and here. You're not actually playing with minis. You're just like, all right, so I've got a post and I'm moving.
Well, I would do it with minis, but I would spend some time crafting beforehand. Take some foam core board and make these floating islands. Stick them with like skewers onto little plastic bases, and you float these items around the table and have like layer actions, right? At the start of every turn, that's where these things would happen.
all that needs to happen is the DM needs to know what is happening behind the screen and is constantly describing it correctly. You know, barbarian, you look up and to the left, and 20 feet up, you see the wizard. Down below, the halfling is coming towards you. You know, and whatever. But I think it's great practice for all that stuff we talk about for Theater of the Mind.
Yep.
But man, what a battle that would be. Just constantly changing. And it's up to them to use their spells to redirect these pieces of Earth.
Cool. My second one-shot idea is you are tasked with getting information from a wizard or getting an item from a court wizard. And you get to his tower, climb up, and you see him sitting in a circle, eyes glazed, hands outstretched, and a swirling pool of color above him. Your party then reaches up, seeing the swirling pool of color. They touch it, and they are projected within the astral plane through the remnants of what's left of his astral projection spell. And now your party has to go find this wizard in the Astral Sea. Mm-hmm. Right? Clearly hasn't been gone that long, but then again, time happens differently in the Astral Sea. So your party will go, and you find this court wizard eventually penned down by either Githzerai or Githyanki or even Mind Flayers or even some lesser Celestials, pinned down and being held trial there right in the middle of the Astral Sea. And now you've got to deal with that as well. Mm-hmm. So a rescue mission of sorts.
And all you have to do to send him back is kill him.
And that's all you got to do. Yeah.
It's for your own good.
And then you gotta, once the entire party is done, you gotta go and actually try to still get that information or item from a guy you just murdered.
I love it.
Yeah. Adam?
Okay, so I want the entire party to sit down ahead of time, and let's choose, I don't know, tier 2, somewhere around there. And everybody is going to create a party. And the big thing that I want everyone to spend the week leading up to the session talking about is their relationship with each other. They're all friends or lovers or siblings, or you can have a father-son or a mother-son. Like, I just want everybody, like, deeply connected. And then they astral project, and there's one person staying back watching all of the bodies, right, to protect them as they're astral projecting. And they go, and you just throw high-level encounters at them. Make it hard. This is Suicide Squad, 6 men enter, 1 man leaves level of, like, nobody's coming back from this alive. It's a suicide mission. And when they go through and they run the entire campaign, and they've got some sort of like, no, my lost love, and she's getting killed on the battlefield, and some people are getting like sucked back into their body. Other people are getting their cord cut, right? And like there's some people are getting dragged to hell, and of course their body just disappears from the prime material plane and just is gone off to the 9 hells. And there's all of this crazy shit happening, and then you wrap up the entire session by explaining to them what the person left behind saw. Like the person foaming at the mouth and dying just out of the blue. Mm-hmm. And like they could be gone months. You could really just, and then we're going to hand wave our travel time. You guys travel for, you roll percentile dice, 93 years, right? But the person back there only has minutes go by. And so you finish it up by saying, and this person suddenly woke up saying, no, oh my God, we were fighting this big crazy thing. And the person left behind is like, oh my God, what is happening there? And we spent 8 months and these 2 people fell in love. And like, and you can just go on and tell this big epic story, but it's a one shot because it's the perspective of the one person left behind. One person's body just disintegrates. And because they've gone off to the 9 hells, or someone else has been like, just suddenly flatlines, just done, stops breathing, is over. I like the idea of having a seizure when your cord is cut, right? So it's like horrifying and visual. Yeah. And so you end the entire series basically with the one last person that like chooses to wake up and says, oh, I know what the thing is. But it costs the lives of everybody else. There's just that one person left behind. And if you make that person left behind watching them a child, that had to witness the whole thing, Dan's like, I don't like it, stop it, Adam. But I think that would be a really powerful and interesting introduction to the Astral Sea, especially if you then include this information and these characters as NPCs in your regular campaign thereafter. So
I kind of like the idea of the party, maybe not just one person watching, but the whole party is watching another party do this, and they're kind of dropping one at a time, and then the last one wakes up, does the whole thing that you just said, and just instantly kills themselves. And it's
I've seen too much.
What did they see that made them do that? Yeah.
You know what?
That's heavy, but...
Yeah.
I like the idea, too, of you having to protect them. Like you're the party and you're protecting their sleeping bodies as the Githyanki show up in the prime material plane to raid this area to get those people out of the Astral Sea.
Shit.
Right? And so you've got a corridor. right? That you have to protect, and it's like 300 style, like do not let them past.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? I think that'd be an interesting way.
And there's different level. Like maybe it starts with a portcullis, and then maybe you
got the defenses, and you set up some sort of like
one layer at a time, and they're just coming.
Everybody gets a certain amount of gold pieces ahead of time that you just meta game midweek before this starts. You say, "What do you want to buy? What's the layout of this? How do you want to do it? Yeah. It costs this much for a portcullis, this much for a T junction in the area, this much for a pit trap, right?" And so. And then the Yankee, you're coming.
Yeah, cool. Terry, what do you got?
Now everybody just feels like kobolds, actually. So,
so good. Well, I'm not going to top that. That was phenomenal. I was watching Ready Player One recently.
I'm sorry.
You guys seen it?
It's a good book. It's a crap movie.
I didn't like the movie.
Well, this is what happens when you talk about anything with nerds, really. Do nerds like anything? Is there anything out there that we've agreed that we like collectively?
Books and Dungeons and Dragons.
You're right. But I love the idea of this meeting place that we can go to. Dan, you kind of touched on it earlier, but very, very lethal, very dangerous. And if you have allies spread around the continent, there's this one area that you all know you can enter the astral plane at. You can do what you need to do and then get out again. But I would even up the danger every time because people are getting onto the idea that you're coming in. So you can, we can commune with whoever, we can speak to whoever, let's get the information, let's everybody go in. It's getting harder and harder every time. Or even using that same idea but a neutral ground to speak to enemies. So maybe you would go and you would all have a council to pick sides, decide, are we going to do this? Are we going to war? Are we going to whatever? But you're all on different parts of the continent, but that's your neutral ground that you go and meet at. Okay.
I'm with it, but I want to raise the stakes in this. You know when your familiar dies and you got to summon them again? Where do they go? Why not the Astral Sea? Wait a minute. I want to change my answer here. Where do the great old ones reside?
Yes,
in the Far Realms.
Well, but why not the Astral Sea?
There's no reason why not. I love that idea.
I like the idea of you walking, and like I said earlier, the Astral Dreadnought rises out of it. No, bitch, it's Cthulhu. Right, it's just like standing up out of this tiny, like very small puddle amount of water.
Yeah,
and he's just rising and rising and rising, and
maybe he comes out of one of your little pyramids.
Yeah,
that would be underwhelming. For Cthulhu just to walk out there.
The little pyramid lands on your hand, and then there's like one gigantic finger wraps itself out and slowly reaching through.
Like Ace Ventura out of a rhino.
Yeah,
out of the and.
I told you once that I'm a very visual person, and you keep on dropping these things, and I can't get them out of my head.
Anyways, was there more, Dan?
We need 2 full-blown campaign ideas, gentlemen. These are long to level 20 campaigns. Grab your dice.
All right, let's go.
17.
15.
What's that?
You have an 18. Adam?
I have an 18.
Is that a botch?
Oh, there we go. That's a 7.
You got a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, me first. So, this is all about the Astral Sea. I mean, it's a no-brainer on this, right? We're going pirates.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't. If you're going to do a pirate campaign, why are you not doing it on the Astral Sea?
There's boats.
There's all sorts of boats. I also love the idea, again, like this, you can walk along this water, and can you drink the water? You don't need to, but can you?
Yeah, like, is it salty? Dan, I look to you.
It's not defined, but yeah, I would say it's salty. I'd say it's kind of alkaline tasting.
Yeah, it's like you just licked the battery. Water, right?
Yeah. You just licked a battery.
Or like when you didn't rinse your glass properly and it still tastes like soap in your
just that little bit. Or cilantro.
Well,
cilantro tastes like soap.
I love the flavor of coriander.
But no, I like
coriander is the seed of the cilantro plant. Okay,
I like the idea of these ships that you get in that like they can be airships that also sail as well. When it like all the shit in the sky is becoming like all the like Terry was talking about the rocks hitting and shit. So you decide to sail for a while, but the hull sinks into this, and it's only when you're walking does it seem like it's a flat, shallow plane.
Oh, like on Stardust.
I don't know Stardust.
You've never seen Stardust?
Yes, 100%.
Where they catch the lightning and stuff with the ships, but then they also float as well. You've never seen Stardust.
It's a fantastic movie. You really should.
Watch it.
Robert De Niro plays a space pirate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Terry, watch Labyrinth and the Dark Crystal, and Dan, just social media. And then I will do this, okay?
Okay.
That's the deal.
You don't have to subject yourself to the Dark Crystal if you don't want to.
Okay. No, I'll do it, but you should watch Stardust. Shouldn't have been
I hate the Dark Crystal. I have it is one of those weird movies from the past that just
it's so dark Terry will like it.
Yeah, no, you really will. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But no, I like the idea of the ships being able to like sail and also fly, and you are essentially going out and bringing law and order to the Astral Sea to the best of your ability. Collect Githyanki scalps and sell them for gold. That is your currency.
Jeez.
I love it.
All right. I'm up next. Your party all rolls up Githyanki and Githzerai, and you are part of the Shasal Ko, which is the group of the Githyanki and Githzerai who are seeking to unite the two. And you, the entire campaign is you trying to bring together two tribes of Githzerai and Githyanki who are at like blood war, civil war level hatred for each other.
You would love this. I would hate it because I get so frustrated. I just want to kill them both. I feel like that's where that would go for me.
I'm getting a real West Side Story vibe from this. Like,
yeah.
There's going to be romance across the races.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, like what? Why not?
Yeah, right. And it is a like you have your quiet, contemplative, more artistic level Githzerai, more monastic Githzerai, actually partnering with their militaristic, aggressive, hot-headed Githyanki, right? And that's your party, and you have to go and like find Gith. When Gith freed the Gith from the
capital G Gith, the person Gith,
the person Gith. When she freed the Gith, she wasn't intending them to splinter after. So she disappeared and has been gone for eons. She is probably immortal. Go find her.
Oh, your bard is just going to pretend to be Gith.
That's man. You have to be a high level bard to pull that off.
Also, remember that Githzerai and Githyanki are psionics, and they will see through a fucking lie.
Will they? Do they inherently have like
What's
high
the
insight?
Definition
and
of being
whatnot?
psionic.
You can cause damage to someone else with your mind.
Okay.
So you can just give that guy over there a headache, and he takes 10d10 damage.
But that's different to telepathic.
So what's their psionic steps? Githyanki psionics, which is an ability that Githyanki get if you want to roll a character, is right off the bat Mage Hand, but the hand's invisible. And then when you reach third level, you can cast the jump spell at will. Once per long rest. And when you reach fifth level, you gain Misty Step.
None of this to me says that they're necessarily
That's Githyanki. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for these, which intelligence is the one stat increase that all Gith get. So that's kind of what you get there. You also get this decadent memory where you learn old memories from your time.
This doesn't say insight to me. I don't think that they can just...
That's Githyanki. Githzerai get detect thoughts, shield, and the same mage hand
detect thoughts.
Yeah, they get detect thoughts, but
as well as advantage on charmed and frightened conditions.
Yeah,
and a bonus to wisdom.
Again, I think that you could get past detect thoughts. There are ways around it.
Oh yeah, there's uncommon items that will protect you from it.
Yeah, so I think this is something that could happen tier 2 and beyond.
Yeah.
You decide to set your bard up with the high charisma and
I've had the Circle of Life stuck in my head since 1994, so that's all they're going to get with me with detect thoughts. That's literally it.
Anyway, so
yeah, that's me.
Terry.
Oh, campaign ideas, huh? Okay. One of mine was pirates, and it's obvious one, but I just kind of want to put my thoughts in it as well. I absolutely love it, and I think it's a safe place to do it. Because pirate campaigns, I think, can be intimidating for people because there's lots going on. You're kind of talking naval battles and things sometimes. But I think this is your low consequence place to do it. If you're doing it in an infinite plane, it's kind of safe because it's infinite. There's not too much with regards to like weather and mountains and all that type of politics and stuff to think about. I think this is a safe place to do it. I love the idea of being part of if you want to play in a campaign where you get to play Githyanki characters, this is the time to do it. Or even not necessarily, but just go with them and take those airships even to the material plane. Just go crazy and go on raids. Be fucking Vikings in airships. I think this is a safe way
Drive
to do
the
it.
airships through the color pools.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it's a safe way to do it in that it's not going to be campaign derailing by like using airships, fleets of airships in other campaigns, because this is the campaign.
Yeah.
This is your time. You know your airship may crash, but we're going to have ideas to go to if that does happen.
I love it.
Pirates, I just wanted to jump in my 2 cents on that.
Adam, one last idea there?
All right, so at the very beginning, you guys the party discovers together, and they're already established as a party. This doesn't bring them together, but they discover together a map. And the map is of a section of the Astral Sea called the Cluster of Wealth. And every artifact and legendary item that you can find in official D&D published material has been stolen by Gith-Yankee pirates and spread out amongst strongholds. And you know which stronghold it has which item and how powerful it is. And you guys are going to go loot the Gith-Yankee. And all of your random encounters are between strongholds, and you can choose which one you're going to go after. You know that there's a general over here and a captain over there, and there's a red dragon over here, and so you know that there's an astral dreadnought that kind of patrols in this neighborhood over here, but there are 2 powerful strongholds in there, and like you know the map ahead of time. And this is it's not even MacGuffins. You just like, what do we need next? Well, we freaking need that sword that can cut through an astral dreadnought in a single hit. We need the Vorpal sword right now to be able to fight that. But the Vorpal sword is over there, but it's really protected. We should be about level 8 for that. So first, let's go get a bunch of weapons over here. And you strategize and you know your plan and you're going to systematically work through it.
If you have a high tactics party, this could really work out, of those guys who like really want, like they build their characters based off what items they get as well. Focus that on these guys as well. That's a great kind of campaign for that kind of group.
And if you have areas in there where they have ironically enslaved some mind flayers, or they have Gith-Zerai that are about to be executed, slated for execution, they can sit there and choose which allies to make, who to free, who to get on their side, and they can run into people astral projecting from other planes and whatnot coming in, and they can deal with them and get information. Or you know what? Shit, we need help here. Guys, we're gonna go to Mount Celestia just for a moment. And we're going to try to get some high-level angel power.
Cool.
Right? And so I think that this would be a really neat campaign just to run there. But you're just after items.
Love it.
I love it too.
Okay, so for my campaign, my second one is you roll a standard high fantasy party, standard rule set, whatever you want to do there. But your party is met by the elderly, wizened, hermit that meets out in the woods, and it's revealed that he is one of these Gith-Yankee great wizards that was slated to be sent to the big paradise when he found out what Vlakith does with people there, and he rebelled. And he's going to use your party, who he has foreseen with his freaky-deaky Gith-Yankee magics. He has foreseen your party being the ones to unseat the eternal God Queen Vlakith. And your party is now sitting there, and it's urban warfare as you go through Tunaraf. It's you trying to convince the most hardline militaristic cast of creatures in Dungeons and Dragons to rebel against their queen by releasing this information. So it is a rebellion storyline as you go, led by this one male Gith-Yankee. And the reason why I specify there is it is revealed at the end that it is actually Gith who has been leading you to tear down this.
Is Gith male or female?
Gith is female. So at the end, the shroud of of obfuscation leaves, and
She
Gith
Joan of
steps.
Arc's you.
Yeah. Gith steps out, like maybe in the big meeting when you finally get to sit face to face with Vlakith. This character comes out, sheds her disguise, and it is Gith. And now Vlakith has to decide if she is actually still subservient to Gith, like she claims all along, or she is now her own thing. And you have a fight between an arch-lich who has the power level of a entire council of archmages and an ancient red dragon who has been sitting by her side for eons. And you're fighting, what's his name? Ephelamon as well. So this entire campaign of causing civil unrest in the most hardline militaristic, strict culture in Dungeons and Dragons.
I love
like
it.
Githyanki.
I love really high. I like really low level stuff and really high level stuff. Really high level stuff because you can go mega epic with it. You've got ancient dragons fighting, soon to be gods or existing gods or whatever. But I love the low level play because the threat of death is so real.
Yep.
You feel so vulnerable all the time. But for the high level stuff, I love that.
And the thing is, doing an urban campaign in Tunarath is not that hard because the city is very well defined.
Yeah.
And it exists in the Astral Sea. Like, the city itself is really well defined in Mordekainen. So, running an urban campaign there, going through the different districts, like they have one district where it's called the Glathk district, which that is the Githyanki word for farmer, and it is a dirty word. It is like, that's where all the poor folk go. And they just call them farmers. And it's that kind of twisting campaign. Hell, I would even see if you could run like a dragon heist level campaign just out of Tunarath.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, it's you.
I don't know if you two know this about me. I'm quite an avid chess player.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
really?
For real, yeah.
So am I.
So am I.
Yeah, we should sit down.
Oh, okay. Now, oh my God, we're going to play. You as well, Dan?
Yeah.
How did we just find out about this?
I'm sure no one is surprised that I was in a chess club for years.
Oh, you'll be a
Yeah.
lot better than me. I am self-taught shit level.
Dude drops, I'm an avid chess player, and then realizes that we are too. Oh, no, God, I'm shit. I'm shit.
Oh, no, I was going to go further in that. I'm like the dirty boxer of chess. Like you're gonna be like you're playing.
Terry gets to the end and says, "King me."
Exactly. Who was it in Game of Thrones? Maybe it's Cersei, where she's talking about making moves, and she's like, sometimes make a move if it just even if it doesn't make sense, just to make them wonder why you made that move. I'm like that type of fucked up chess. It's just fun for me. You know, I just like fuck with people. But anyway, the reason I brought this up is because I was playing chess and I was thinking, it's weird how these pieces move. It doesn't seem to make sense. It makes sense for the game, but this is supposed to simulate a battle, but it doesn't really seem to make sense. And then when we start talking about the Astral Sea and gates, and I like to talk big scale battles, that's when I was thinking, imagine these two forces facing off. And then, are we fighting? Yes, we are. We can't come to terms of peace. Okay, let's go. And instead of these regular battle tactics happening, all of a sudden, the cavalry on this side just fuck off to the right. And then appear Super Mario style out of this gate, and then hit them from the back.
Oh, I love that.
And then, or for some reason, the archers have decided that they're going to sprint in front of everybody, which would make no sense typically, because when they get halfway across the battlefield, then they suddenly appear over here, coming out of this gate. And I just thought, this has like this sort of 3D chess style thinking of these two generals now, thinking on this epic level of why are they going here, because now they're going to appear over here, which means this, which means this. So it can be done very small scale battle, or it can be done very large scale battle, if you can find a system to make it work. But I was watching chess and I thought, playing chess, and I thought, if there's a way that we can do these messed up Super Mario Pac-Man style moves that appearing here and appearing here, the Astral Sea would be perfect for it, because it's just basically a big open wet battlefield. And it would just be so good if we could pull it off somehow.
I would love that, but have on either side someone who's capable of generating these portals. Mm-hmm. So, like, you have...
And counterspelling them as well.
Counterspelling them as well, but, like, you see the, that one cavalry wing takes that hard right and goes off towards a blue portal, and this guy just creates a red one in front of them, and then they pop out of a red one a moment later, but there's a third of them, and they are beat up and destroyed because they just accidentally rode into the abyss.
And but even if you want to do it on a smaller scale, as just with everyone controls their own players, for whatever reason, the players and the enemies now have the ability, or one or two people on each side have the ability to do this. Because now you're getting the players to use their interactions much more. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm ahead of the wizard in initiative. It's his turn coming next or whatever. So I'm using my interaction to say, hey, turn that blue on red. Okay,
I love it.
His turn. Do it. And I just thought that would be great. It's great, interesting.
Absolutely love it.
Yep, but that's me, guys. That's me.
That actually brings us to the end of the episode. Any other thoughts on the Astral Sea?
Yeah, I got a question. So Gith went off to go have a meeting with Tiamat and her red dragon consort, whose name I can never remember, Ephelamon. Did I get that right?
Ephelamon, yeah.
He comes back and says, all right, so there's this big sacrifice, and she died, and now Vlaakith is going to be the new queen. And then time passes, and no one hears from Gith ever again. And then suddenly, out of the blue, nowhere, right after the spell plague, the Raven Queen appears and has Shatter Kai, which are similar to Gith in a lot of ways. Is the Raven Queen Gith?
How and why? I'm with you, but how and why?
I don't know yet. I'd have to build that. I got to dig deep into the lore to see if that lines up. But is the Raven Queen Gith?
Oh, I've also heard theories like the Raven Queen is Mystra.
No, the Raven Queen appears to at the party at the end of their campaign. Their big, huge battle. They've gone through so much together, tears, character death, everything. The Raven Queen appears and whispers to them, "It's pronounced Jith," and then fades.
There we go. Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's beautiful.
That bothers me on so many levels.
Roll credits.
So that's it for this week's episode on the Astral Sea. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, as well as dozens of other podcast apps. You can also find us at www.itsamimic.com or email us at info@itsamimic.com. Thanks for listening to the It's a Mimic podcast, and make sure you check us out next week when we're covering
Loot. The reward, not the instrument. I mean, you can get an instrument for loot.
I'm glad we cleared that up now, because if I came prepped for the instrument, I'd have been...
Terry shows up with a loot ready to go.
Do you have a loot?
No, why would I have a loot? Who has a loot?
I know several people that have loots.
Fucking nerds, man.
Thank you for listening to It's a Mimic. Check us out online at itsamimic.com or on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Have questions you would like answered by the guys on the show? Send them an email to itsamimic@gmail.com. Tune in every Tuesday for more.
Okay, boys, we talked a lot about the color pools and the fact that the Astral Sea is a transitive thing that kind of connects all of the planes of existence. And it got me thinking, what is your favorite shared universe? Like the MCU, Xanth, King's shared universe he's got with his books.
Stephen King, you mean?
Yeah, Stephen King. Discworld, like all of these things all together. What is your favorite shared universe?
Are we rolling for it?
Sure, let's do it.
Did I get 14 again? 15. I got 14 and 15 quite a lot tonight, I think.
I'm going last with a 12.
Last with a 12. Dan, you go first with a 19. I go second with a 15.
I really like Piers Anthony's Xanth series.
I don't know anything about this.
I grew up on it.
I don't know.
There's a selection of nerds that are listening that are like, yeah, go Piers Anthony. The Xanth series are absolutely incredible. It's a high fantasy, small little novellas. They're really easy to digest, and they cover some of the weirdest kind of tweaks of high fantasy and play on a lot of the tropes of high fantasy that
what's it about?
It is about the land of Xanth, which is a magical land.
Can you spell Xanth for me? So with an
X-A...
Fuck off.
N-T-H.
Yeah, alright.
I don't like those sounding words. Z words.
That's an X.
Yeah, but the sound.
Okay.
I don't like it. I think it's lazy. It's laziness trying to sound creative.
I recommend the Xanth books and Piers Anthony as an author just whenever I can.
I'm sure it's great.
It's fantastic. And they don't take themselves too seriously, which is something I really enjoy about them. They're just fun high fantasy reads. They're almost comedies. Some of them are straight up comedies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're weird and quirky and Discworld is along the same vein, right? But who's next? Adam.
No, that was Terry. Was next.
Me.
Terry.
Hold on. I gotta agree with you about the X equals Z.
I
feel like if anybody You know, sometime next 8 years they're going to release some movie directly to Netflix called Zombies, but it's spelled with a fucking X.
Yeah.
And I'm already mad about it.
I don't even like it when you go past businesses and they've changed the legitimate word, they've changed the spelling, but kept it the same.
Ecstasy is spelled with an X.
Oh, fucking... Yeah. It's just laziness trying to come across as creativity.
So how do you feel about the rapper Exhibit?
Yeah. Not exactly going down as one of the musical geniuses of our time. Some people may argue that. Fuck you, I don't care. TLDR. But what I'm saying is I don't like that. I also don't like alliteration in businesses. You know, when it's just like, Patty's Party Palace. I'm like, shut up. That's not Apple to me, but okay.
I freaking love that.
No, I hate
But
it.
specifically, like my D&D campaigns, like every single in has to be either an alliteration or something like witty to it.
Did you know that you guys right now in the campaign are at the
Heavy melanin.
The Heavy Melon Inn, yeah, and that is where the sun god came in because heavy melanin.
Yeah, it bothers me.
The sun god was just
sucks me out of it.
I was wondering what it was. I'm like, what about like the heavy melanin?
I can't believe out of all of us, I take my fantasy so seriously. I'm like in Westeros.
I embrace
the
comedy of it. Like,
I only do the clever wordplay for taverns and businesses because I feel like that's what the people if they don't have a sense of humor, they won't have it. It'll just be like Moe's Tavern, right? Like, and that's what you get. But but no, there's like the Eats and Sheets. Right, yeah, the bed and bread,
the Bog and Bullywug tavern. Okay, what's mine?
Yeah,
fuck. People are gonna be like, oh, whatever. Anne Rice, man, I fucking love vampires. I love goth stuff. Those books are amazing. I was thrift shopping this weekend past.
Ooh.
Yeah, do you know why?
You're popping some tags?
Do you know what? I was popping some tags, and I'll tell you for why as well.
Oh, for why, Terry? For why?
I'll tell you for why.
Tell us for why, Terry.
Because you can get books cheap as fuck. Like I was in there and I was like, I'm sorry, this book is $1. I will take 12 Anne Rice books. Let's go. Anyway. But I love all of the little side stories. I think I told you guys before about Star Wars. I was like, I don't really care about the Skywalker saga. I like all the little side spin-off ones. Yeah. That's what I like about that universe as well, is like reading Marius's book and then Armand's book and then kind of going off. But I love that universe. Put me in it. I would gladly be a vampire in that universe.
Cool.
Anyway, Adam?
Okay, so my answer is the Cheers universe, like the show Cheers.
No, it's not. Be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know where he's going with this. No. I get where he's going with this.
Cheers, Frasier, Wings. That's obvious. Also, Seinfeld, Mad About You, Friends, Joey, How I Met Your Mother, and Caroline in the City. And
all the same universe?
All in the same universe due to crossovers between little characters that have like guest starred and showed up here. Mad About You, Phoebe's sister Ursula is in the coffee shop as a waitress for a little while and shit like that. They all cross over. I can do that again. Cheers, Wings, Frasier, Seinfeld.
It's Frasier. I said Frasier. Fucking suck.
We're in Vancouver.
I swear
we
to
get
God,
a pass.
man.
So Seinfeld, Mad About You, Friends, and of course Joey, How I Met Your Mother, and Caroline in the City. But wait, there's more, because Cheers also crossed over with Saint Elsewhere, which ties it to the Law and Order universe.
Oh my God. Well, that was a phenomenal one.
Yeah, that's my answer. I just have weird trivia knowledge.
I don't like a world where Law and Order exists in the same universe.
In a world where Law and
Barney
Order and
fucking
Friends.
Stinson.
Yeah. I like that, like Law and Order and Friends. I like that crossover. That'll be good. Can you imagine Chandler in an interrogation
Is the Cheers bar in New York, or is it? I thought it's in like Chicago.
It's in Boston, isn't it?
Something like that.
I think
it's not in New York.
I don't know.
Well,
and Frasier's in Seattle.
Frasier's Seattle.
Yeah, but didn't he move in from Boston? So that's why I say Boston.
I don't know, man. It was so long since I watched Frasier.
It has been a long time since I've watched any of these shows, but like I like that shared universe, and it's weird that it's like that. And doesn't Saint Elseworld or Elseworld?
I don't think I've seen a single episode of Saint Elsewhere.
No.
It's a hospital drama, isn't it?
Yes, but is that the one that ends where it turns out that the entire thing, and this is where I tie it together? Hold on, I gotta pause for a second. I gotta make sure I know what I'm talking about.
Pause. Hey, baby, said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
Yep. So here's my favorite thing. Okay, Saint Elsewhere. The last episode, the finale, ends, and it is revealed that the hospital itself is inside a snow globe, and it is an autistic kid that is looking at it, and everything that happened in the series happened in the mind of this autistic child. Which would then include Law and Order, Cheers, Seinfeld, Friends.
No, don't you do it.
How I Met Your Mother.
You do it.
Joey, Frasier. All of them are all in the mind. In canon, this is legit. All in the mind of an autistic child.
Christopher Walken walks in and says he carried a pocket watch up his ass for 6 I don't know. That's true.
So who's confirmed this? How is this a confirmed thing? Just because of all the crossovers that are going on between all those shows?
Yeah, they all have little characters that cross over here and there, or they will make reference to. I was in New York, went to Central Perk, right, the coffee shop. Like, there's just confirmed crossovers between all of these things, and that's just it. Like, there it is. That's all you need to make a shared universe. I've rocked dance fucking world.
Man,
I like 90% of those shows, and this is brand new news to me. Like, first time I've ever heard it.
I just know trivia. I don't know why I know any of that, but I do.
Jeez. All right, well.
I don't like it. And now I have to go and try and repeat this to people as though I knew it. And I'm going to be like, Friends was all in the mind of an autistic child. And
that's a good opener.
I'm not going to be able to pull it off. I'm not going to be like, why? I'm like, because of Frasier. Obviously, pay attention.
He was in Seattle, but originally Boston.
I like how the MCU is kind of like the one shared universe that coined the phrase the shared universe, and none of us liked it.
Did it? I thought shared universe was from Silver Age Comics.
Oh, sure, okay.
Which would have been the DCU,
yeah,
I guess, then, because the Flash was jumping all over.
But none of us mentioned MCU.
No, my second is going to be Star Trek, obviously.
They went back in time to save humpback whales, man.
Yes, and it was one of the best movies. It was a fantastic movie. That is one of the only ones that I will sit down and watch because it has nuclear vessels.